Alrighty, boys and girls. Alrighty. How we doing? Welcome in. Welcomes. How we all doing? Feels odd streaming it this time. No, where's me dashboard gone? Where's me Twitch dashboard? Somebody's stolen it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it feels odd streaming it this time. Not particularly, not so much a usual Sunday night streamer. Unnormalized, Amanthius, it is. Welcome in, welcome. Right, let's see what we have and let's recraft some stuff. I've taken the afternoon or the day off playing Cyberpunk. I've played a lot of Cyberpunk in the last few days, having an absolute blast. It's really fun. Let's get some WoW on the go. That's what I'm feeling. World of Warcraft is one of those games I need to just dip in and out of it and play it as and when it feels right. We've taken a lot of a look at the PTR and this sort of stuff, and we know what's going on there. But I need to do a bit of a restock. I need to get some stuff crafted. I'm not seeing much in terms of sales on my regular crafting stuff, so I decided this evening was the time to fix that. Inventory full already. What's going on with my mouse DPI? It's gone crazy. No, that's meant... Oh, okay, that's not fast enough. There we go. Much better. Been tempted to boot a WoW again, but got too many other games I should really check out first. I get that. If it wasn't for the fact that I get, almost all the time in the world to play games, I would find it very difficult to squeeze in World of Warcraft at all at the moment. There is some really good stuff out there. There's just so much good stuff out there. And I guess one of the nice things about World of Warcraft is there will always be more time in the future to play World of Warcraft. It's easy to bash on, but I don't think it's going anywhere. So in a way, I kind of feel that WoW could do with having some leniency on the monthly subscription. If you already own the game, you should get 10 hours a month for free, in my opinion. And if you wish to play substantially more than that, then you can obviously pick up a subscription. But I think their business model of, because actually I tend to think that lots of people are like, oh, you know what, I might play some WoW today. And then they go to log in and they've run out of game time and they're like, maybe not. It's, it doesn't have that dip in and dip out capability for people anymore, I don't think. So now that they've kind of, sort of loosened the strings, made it so that you don't feel obliged to play the game absolutely every single day. You don't have a list of chores that you absolutely must do to stay competitive. You just kind of can get your stuff done and then you can put it down for a while. It does make me think that they could do with revising their business model for subscriptions a little bit, but hey, who knows? Just bought a year to dip in and out. Going to be rough when that ends, though. Well, luckily, I've been in the position for a long time now that at the start of an expansion, I can just buy 2 years of game time, which I know will do me up until the next expansion. And if at any point during that there are good opportunities to be had, then we can stack up the gold ready and waiting for the next one. But I fully understand there are many people out there that struggle to get just a single month of game time at the moment, never mind 24 in one go. I think a monetization restructuring could be beneficial to them, even without any sort of predatory practices. Yeah, I genuinely think it could. This might, if they are super duper mega insistent, if they're super insistent on keeping this kind of keeping this monthly thing, I even think they'd be better off. I mean, I don't know if this is too much like hard work, but it seems to make a lot more sense to me nowadays if they even went down to like a 7-day subscription. Or just drop the subscription completely. You already charge people for the game. You charge people for the game. There are multiple in-store services that people are very incentivized to buy. You have the store pets, you have the store mounts. They're really heavily pushing transmog, traders tender, all of this sort of stuff. I think something has got to go soon. And I think the problem is I mean, they can't go fully free to play. They would have to make it so that you don't get that kind of demo up to level 20 mode at all. You'd only be able to play World of Warcraft and get rid of this whole expansion default game business. Just, $50, here's the game. If you own the game, you can play the game. I think in the grand scheme of things, you would look at that at face value and say, right, well, that's going to cost them every single subscription. But how many more players might that actually bring to the game if the only thing that was required was to actually buy the game up front? Double dipping by selling the game and instantly having a subscription, I think, is something they could get away with when they had 20 times as many players as they do now. Force people to play less, but allow fans who want more cosmetics to then pay for it. With forced to pay less, I mean reduce the minimum cost needed to play. Yeah. Take away that financial burden of playing the game. If you've bought the game, you should be able to play the game. I mean, like I said, they could get away with this years ago. They could get away with it years ago, charging you for the expansion and charging you a monthly fee. Can you imagine if Netflix was like, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to watch Netflix, you have to pay us $50. Oh, and then it's going to be $15 a month. No. No, you kind of have one or the other. You have a subscription model or you have a upfront payment system. It's cheeky as all hell having both in the first place. I hope they make everything region-wide soon. I think it's coming. I'm pretty sure it's coming, I would bet that it's within the next 6 months. I really do think it's close. We have had the region-wide auction house for over a year now for commodities. When did 9.2.5 launch? Shadowlands 9.2.5 launch date. Yeah, that's what I meant. Five is the third medium patch of Shadowlands. What? So yeah, we've had the was it 9.2.5 or 9.2.7? 16th of August. So yeah, even still, region-wide commodity auctions. Look, so yeah, we've had commodity auctions for over a year now. I would not be too surprised if within the next 6 months or so they push everything region-wide. I suspect we're going to see a big overhaul. And let's huff some hopium really hard here. Let's take the assumption that crafting orders are here to stay. This could be Blizzard's opportunity to fully revamp the auction house, integrate the crafting order system, and make everything region-wide. They could, you know, kill 3 birds with 1 stone there if they wanted to. And, you know, timing-wise, it kind of fits. Blizzard seem to like this flip-flop style of development. And I think your crafting orders was the initial flip, and the flop will be the proper intended version of it. So this is why I don't think crafting orders are going anywhere. Can't see just how many people keep their subscription rolling without actually playing the game, and I imagine that's quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah, reoccurring revenue models. I would imagine it is quite a lot. And you also then have players like me that have bought 2 years of game time, like, up front. And then, you know, I've paid for it whether I use it or not, sort of thing. But all them shufflers be sad about not being able to profit from moving stock when that drops. I know categorically that the region-wide auction house, if everything went region-wide, it's not good for gold making. But it is good for the game. There's no question. The needs of the many outdo the needs of the few in that scenario. I won't be as hyperbolic as to say it's the death of gold making, but it will remove a huge amount of the viability of doing enough stuff in the game to quote unquote play the game for free. It will normalize the amount of effort that's required to make a single token's worth of gold pretty aggressively. But by normalize, it will mean that it will take, you know, instead of a few smart goblins being able to make a token's worth of gold in like a few hours effort, those guys will probably struggle to continue doing that as much. But it will mean every man and their dog, if they want to put 20 hours of effort into farming something and trying to sell it, that they all have a reasonably fair chance at making enough gold. I mean, we can just see with the materials, right? The price of materials have nowhere near as fluctuated, anywhere near as much as they did just one expansion ago. The materials have been pretty rock solid in price. Because let's not forget, only one expansion back, something like resonant crystals could be a totally different price on one realm as they were on another. Like, completely different price. Now, like I said, from the perspective of trying to play the system to get more gold out than what you put in, it becomes more difficult to do with a fully region-wide system, but for the average player of the game, it's much, much, much better. Anytime anybody needs a material for any crafting profession ever in the history of World of Warcraft, they know it's going to be there. I mean, you could search for any old random thing, literally any old random material, and it will be there, and there'll be enough of them there that you could level a profession 10 times over, sort of thing. There was often times on smaller realms previously where materials just didn't exist, and if they did, they were 10 times the average price. So it was detrimental to a lot of players. Goodbye. So normalizing it a little bit is good for the game. It's just bad for goblins. And I'm starting to come to the acceptance that my style of gameplay is just not what Blizzard wants people to do. They don't particularly... Well, it's not, I mean, they don't mind us doing it, but they don't want to make it easy for us, let's put it that way. They certainly don't want to give us much luxury. They would much rather spread the love as thin as possible, give us many people an opportunity at doing the same thing. Obviously, that will mean that every single player will make less, but then there's always the token, you know? They could make some sort of WoW Lite, which is free but limits access to core things like dungeons and raids, but just cut out access to other features. After buying the expansion, of course, but make the subscription just a massive feature set instead of it being required. Yeah. Because you could, I mean, this is tough one to like even argue nowadays, but you could sort of almost claim that it's the to use the big C word, you know, the casual player base. The casual player base probably makes up the lion's share of the players. And then you have a vast amount of people who engage in Mythic Plus, or they favour, they log and they raid log, or they push for arena rating every season. Obviously, people are allowed to do more than one things, of course, but generally speaking, I imagine, because it's the silent majority. Everybody sees the big content creators, the big streamers, the big YouTubers and stuff. They're all pushing Mythic Plus or raiding or doing something, very high end and clever. But they are the minority of players. There's a handful of those people relative to the amount of people that play the game, I think. Your average person that logs on in the evening to play World of Warcraft and collects a few mounts and does a few, plays around with transmog and such, there's 10x the amount of those players than there are hardcore Mythic Raiders, generally speaking. I would assume this is the problem, right? You can assume that, but we never really know. We never really know for sure. For the player, it will be nice, but how is that player earning enough? Well, I don't think it's Blizzard's expectation that you should be able to play the game for free anymore. Realistically, not that they have that much control over the economy, generally speaking, but I don't really think that Blizzard favors people or too many people trying to play the game for free. They certainly don't design content around that concept. If people want to do it, goblins will do goblin things. That's always been one of the main sort of saying, between players who like to make gold in the game. Goblins will do goblin things. Players who want to make a lot of gold in the game will figure out fancy ways to do it. As years have gone on, the ways to do it have become more and more and more sophisticated. But I don't think Blizzard designs the game in any way, shape or form to let that really happen. The economy will naturally allow some people to make more gold than others. But, the more they smush everybody into one big arena, the less people will come out net positive, generally. And here I was ignoring your live notification, assuming you were still on Cyberpunk. Samadan slot WoW stream. Oh yeah, of course Samadan used to do the Sunday nights, didn't he? Of course he did. Welcome in, Nobby. Good to see you this evening. I hope you are well. I'm doing fine. I'm just, chilling. Chilling. Few hours to kill before bed this evening, so I thought we'll play some WoW for a while. I'm actually going to do a Recraft because I haven't done a Recraft for too long, and I suspect there's a lot of stuff I could be crafting and could be selling that I'm not. Nax, Zongrub, and old stuff. I'll ignore Shadowlands stuff for now because my groups are still not very optimal for Shadowlands. Okay. Ooh, 332 items. 466,000 gold in materials for 1.2 million gold crafting cost and an estimated time to craft everything of 1 hour. Holy shit cakes. What is it trying to make? Oh, that's not just me. That's okay. That's where I've probably done a boo-boo. I should have done that just for my character. There'll be a lot of enchants there that I won't make. I think once we trim the fat on some of these, yeah, a lot of these gems can jog on. A lot of those gems can jog on. Let's do just leatherworking for now. Let's get rid of cooldowns. Let's buy some mats then. Let's buy some mats. $86 mil solid stock. I don't think I have 86 mil. I'm quite sure I don't actually have 86 mil. I'm pretty convinced. In fact, I'm almost certain it's a lot less than that. A large quantity of the characters that TSM seems to think have stacks of gold actually don't. Or they've moved or something's gone on with them. I need to at some point do a full, just delete all characters and log them all back on again to try and get a slightly more accurate number there, but I'm happier knowing that I have more gold than I need. And until I run out, I don't particularly care. If WoW was free, you could convince your friends to come play some raids, dungeons with you, and then once you do, they'll stick around and want some of the extra features, transmog, even things like the auction house and etc., which could be under the subscription. Yeah, there is definitely a smarter business model at play. Although Blizzard are not going to do anything like that until this Microsoft business happens. I think they're almost financially not able to make such drastic changes like that before the Microsoft deal goes through. I'm quite sure they have legal obligations to maintain a certain guaranteed revenue. So changing a business model for their previous cash cow IP is probably not happening until Microsoft have got their hands on it. Game Pass sub equals WoW sub, done. That could be pretty interesting if they merge it all into one. You'd have to then question, where does that put the token? I mean, I guess they could still integrate it so that the token could still exist. I'd find it very surprising if they'd be able to get rid of the token in any way, shape or form. Don't think they're going to change the sub model ever. Maybe once they stop making expansions, but that's just based on their financial reports. Welcome in, Zan. Yeah. I see. I don't know. We were just discussing how it feels more and more cheeky that they both sell you the game and then also demand a monthly subscription to play it, whilst also at the same time making the game a lot more jump in, jump out. They claim their retention has been super good in Dragonflight. I just don't know if that's true, though. I just don't know if that's true. But this is also like what we were talking earlier, that their retention may look better than it is because of how aggressively they push things like 6-month subscriptions. You could have bought a 6-month subscription 4 months ago and you haven't played the game for 3 months and you have no intention to play the game for another couple of months. Yet it still counts on Blizzard list as you're a sub. It's, yeah, we don't know. Shadowlands was a bit of a dumpster fire though, so it's not surprising Dragonflight's outperforming. I'm not convinced it is. I'm genuinely not convinced it is. I think the one thing Dragonflight has got for it is that there isn't anything particularly problematic. Nobody really, everybody seems to struggle to pinpoint where the problem is, but everybody feels that there's something wrong. But nobody really knows exactly what it is. You know, in Shadowlands, it was really easy to pinpoint. Oh, this, you know, aggressive player power grind that's put in front of me. Oh, I have to do Torghast twice a week on every character, this sort of stuff. That makes it very obvious for you to say, this is the reason I don't like the game. This is why I'm quitting. I still think WoW's hemorrhaging players right now, though. I was playing in Shadowland. I'm not playing in Dragonflight. Everybody must be like me, so therefore Dragonflight is doing bad. Throw in a /S in there. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's not totally hypothetical. You look at the engagement for like Mythic Plus, you look at the engagement for top end raiding. If you're going to take the end game content to mean anything, if you're going to say that that is representative of the overall player base, if you were to extrapolate out from it, then when you look at it that way, there's a sharp decline since Shadowlands. Who knows? They don't tell us these numbers for a reason, I guess. I think in Shadowlands, lots of people wanted to quit. Lots of people wanted to put Shadowlands down, but they, you know, there was so much they also felt they needed to do to keep up that they didn't put it down. They just powered through it. Dragonflight, because it's so much more casual friendly, it's also nowhere near as hard to say, you know what, I just won't play WoW this week. And I think some people have taken advantage of that. That doesn't mean they let their subscription lapse, though. This is the thing. Mythic Plus has been hard locking classes out of the high keys due to balance of the God comp. Yeah, I've seen a lot of talk about this God comp. It's obviously problematic when one, you know, subset of the player base is able to just dumpster content way easier than others. And of course that, as they say, shit rolls downhill. So you inevitably have the problem that, you know, you'll find people running +10s and trying to only recruit God comp members. You don't need perfect composition for anything under 15s, to be honest, unless you're like super undergeared. Like even if you're super undergeared, then the God comp probably doesn't even work. It's all a bit odd, but this is the same as the like cookie cutter builds. It happens all the time. It's not anything new. It's just a little bit more prominent at the moment than it has been. It's pretty easy to take a break in Dragonflight. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't feel too hard done by if you do put the game down for a while. I've said for ages that if you stop playing this game and you stop playing it on good terms, then there's a good chance you'll come back. It's always been a bit of a meme that nobody quits WoW. You never quit WoW, you just take an extended vacation. And as long as you put the game down and you put it down of your own volition and you're not particularly pissed off with what's going on, you're far more likely to see something that sparks your interest and come back and play it again. Whereas if they piss you off, if they right royally piss you off, grind you into the floor, burn you out, burn you to a crisp before you leave, the chances of you ever coming back is then super slim. Besides all we know, Blizzard probably makes enough money from the release of an expansion to cover the entire thing. Oh, I'm almost certain they do. I don't think. I mean, store. I don't think any of it is. They're not going bust anytime soon. Let's put it that way. I don't think that's ever going to be a problem. But when you're a publicly listed company, it's not good enough to just make money, is it? This is the problem. It's not good enough to be profitable. You have to make all of the money. And then next year you have to make all plus one. I really haven't been paying too much attention to the price of these materials. I really hope I haven't been shafted anywhere. Primal Shadows are looking expensive. Why are those so expensive? I've been pretty loose with buying materials here. These are a touch over what I'd like to pay, but that'll get reflected in what I sell the items for anyway. And if it doesn't, we don't make it again next time. Frozen Runes, still 28 gold a piece. Breaking even isn't enough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's... If you're not moving up, you're moving down. That's what happened with HOTS. It wasn't printing money like Hearthstone, so they took it back out. Yeah, Heroes of the Storm, it's another game that they had loads of potential with, I think. I think they had a lot of potential with Heroes of the Storm. I mean, it's a genre of games where people get just hella sweaty about it. Why am I buying Scales of Onyxia? We're going to be making the cloak, aren't we? That's probably why. Whatever. And yes, I know, I'm buying vendor mats off the auction house. It's easier than finding the vendor that sells them all. Laziness pays. Those do not, though. Right. Before I loot all of this, I need to get some of this guff out of my bags, don't I? Why have I got like 1 million rep tokens? Can we send these to a character that might use them? It's just random trash. So much random trash. What are you? Chip tier stone. Collected. Delete. Right, let's grab all that out then. HOTS was fun, but between how much League I played and how interested I am in getting into Dota, I wasn't likely going to be putting in a lot of... Yeah, I guess that could have been its own downfall, really, that it was trying to step into an already very well-established, industry. Oh my god, the lag. Oof. League was doing really well at the time HOTS released as well. I think League's always been doing well. I've like it has its ups and downs, but I mean, League is like my brother's been addicted to League for ever. Every time I'm on Discord, I see my brother playing League to this very same day. League or RuneScape. It still absolutely pumps numbers, that game. That is for everything. Can I get a breakdown for just leatherworking? Maybe not easily. Let's just keep pressing the button. Keep pressing that button. Just like I tried to get my brother into playing World of Warcraft, he tried to get me into playing League, and neither of us particularly succeeded in that adventure. I guess you end up liking what you like. We do share a common interest in Factorio, though, so. If we can get... I probably won't get the full restock done this evening. If I can get the big crafting ones, leatherworking, tailoring, blacksmithing done and dusted, that'll be mostly the big ticket items. If I can get those done this evening, I think I'll be happy. Turbulent Timeways event on the calendar's still messed up, even though I told it was going to get fixed 2 times. I wonder if it's a UI bug or whether it will impact in-game stuff. Is that coming with a stacking EXP bonus every week as well? Doesn't it like start at a 5% XP and it racks up all the way up to 30 or something? It's going to be good leveling season, I reckon. Oh, you know what's really disappointing? There's a lot of these appearances, an awful lot of these appearances, that I have not collected yet. I'm breaking my own rule. I should be learning a whole bunch of this stuff and then crafting another one to sell. Put a lot of time and gold into Heroes of the Storm. I didn't play it too much. When did Heroes of the Storm come out? Was it end of WoD? When was it Heroes? I see. I can't even remember the exact time. It clashed with something. Finished the game. Completed it, mate. FIFA. Completed it, mate. I can't remember exactly, but I'm quite sure it clashed with something, which meant I didn't really play it that much. I played it a little bit, because of course, why not, but... Seven heavy leather balls. Hang on. Hang on. Why are we crafting these for? Oh, because they do technically have 85 gold profit on them at the moment. Okay. We've been scamazed on those. Oh well, whatever. Actually, the funny thing is we have sold some of these at a price that is more than what it costs us to craft them, but it's certainly not something I would have expected. Who would buy that? Well, yeah, I have sold some of them. I don't know why. One of the rules I very quickly learned many years ago when trying to make gold is that people will buy all sorts of random trash. Took me 35 million gold to buy all of the items in Heroes of the Storm. Holy smoke. This is why I kind of, in a way, I kind of hope that Warcraft Rumble doesn't get attached to Battle.net. Because if it does, my gold balance is going to decrease very rapidly. Okay. Scrap you, scrap you. And let's get that lot sent off. Yeah, let's send everything. Off she goes. Why did it crap out on these ones? Why did it not send you? Should we try again? No, still didn't like it. Let's do it this way. There we go. Off you pop. Beautiful. Let's grab those, get those listed. Basically put all my Legion gold into it, then bought the Brutosaur, then all of my gold went into Heroes of the Storm again, okay. I'm kind of glad Diablo Immortal was a flop, because I didn't spend a lot in Diablo Immortal, but my gold balance definitely took a bit of a hit. But if Warcraft Rumble gets attached to Battle.net, my gold balance is going to get destroyed. Because I'm having quite a lot of fun playing Warcraft Rumble. I haven't made many videos for it, to be fair, but I've definitely had fun playing it. Made a fortune in New World selling water. Yeah, New World was fun. Trying to make gold in New World. I can't even remember if the currency of choice is gold back then, but I remember New World right at the beginning was quite fun. I think I leveled up nearly all of the professions to max. I don't think I quite got there for all of them, but I think I only played New World for maybe the first month or so. Hasn't New World just had a new expansion? Or is there an expansion coming out for it or something? They've just released an expansion. I knew Summon was on the cards for New World. Okay. Sure. Sold that within minutes of putting it on the auction house. Don't mind if I do. Odd thing to sell, but sure. This is why we craft these things, because odd things do sell. Right, let's do probably blacksmithing next. Blacksmithing's always fun. Although I don't have anywhere near as many old blacksmithing patterns as I should. Cross 12 mil liquid for the first time today. Nice. It's all those Dracothists. It's all those Dracothists. I don't envy you having to log on to 50, however many characters it is, and craft them all every week, but I guess the gold is good when you sell them all. scan. No, 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 no. What's going on here? What you doing, TSM? You've gone mad. Gathering. Mantheus. Just blacksmithing for now. Made 300 to 400 or so today with just those. Half done with guaranteed tier 3 vial setup. Nice. That could pay if I don't know how you've got all your characters on. A lot of your characters on I assume one account though, right? Oh, but I guess your artisan's metal probably racks up pretty quickly, right? For some boosty boosts. 2200 metal on each tune. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be good when you can cash all of that in then. That'll be very tasty. What? Let me buy the emeralds. Oh, stupid game. Trillion bars? I made bank on trillion bars once upon a time. My dog's woofing in her sleep again. Bedtime, have a wonderful week. Sleep well, sleep well. Mop era crafting was good. What was even better than mop era crafting was that at the end of Mr. Pandaria, or at some point shortly after Mr. Pandaria, I bought a metric ton of trillion bars and I put them in a guild bank and I just forgot they existed. And I found them, I think about halfway through Battle for Azeroth, and they'd sort of 10x'd in price from what I paid. And I was like, nice. It's always fun when silly things like that happen. Not gonna let me buy lava cores then? Nope. Do we try again? Nope. How about fiery cores? You can let me buy these? Or let me have those? Oh, I still do find buying materials with TSM tediously slow. But a lot of these items, even though I buy them off the auction house, the time-saving perspective of it is still worth. Yeah, sure, they're fine. Whoa! Ghost Eyes, nearly 100 gold apiece. Okay. Flask of Supreme Power. Why am I buying this? This goes into making something, and I can't remember what it is. A lot of old vanilla stuff I think we're crafting here. I've tried to figure this out for a long time, you know, and I can't quite work out why it is. But why, nearly 20 years after this game has launched, why is vanilla still one of the most profitable expansions as far as crafting is concerned? That doesn't make any sense. Why has everything that has happened since vanilla been borderline useless, whilst vanilla still holds strong as one of the best eras in time for crafting stuff? Still not going to let me buy lava cores. Nope. Okay, let's try again.
Hail.
Now can we buy our lava cores? Hey, there we go. Saronite bars are still really, and this is another one. It always surprises me how expensive these things stay at. I swear there's some cartel keeping the price of these things up. The Saronite cartel. It is! It feels like that. It feels like somebody's pushing their weight around and somebody's artificially keeping that market higher than it should be for no reason whatsoever. Saronite is meant to be a byproduct of farming titanium. There should be a mass abundance of Saronite ore at all times. There should be 10 times the amount of Saronite ore that anybody should ever need. Because people need the titanium, not the Saronite. Yet for some reason, Saronite still holds good value. I've never understood why. Okay, it's not allowing me to buy hardly any of these. Oh my god, I don't... How many of these do I need? I need 10 hardened elementium bars. They are just too expensive. They are just too expensive. But they do cost 500 gold to make. I'm not going to make my gold back on those. Unfortunately, they're just a touch too expensive. Having a black market auction house bidding war. What are people buying from the black market auction house nowadays? Outside of the Longboy, I can't really think of any good reason to be using it. But then again, I also know that I'm not... Tier 3 stuff? I mean, you can just buy Tier 3 stuff off of the auction house. You'd have to get it so cheap off the black market auction house to make it worthwhile, surely. I mean, I guess. Maybe if you can get it cheap enough. Probably cheaper on the black market auction house. I mean, it might be. It might be. Right place, right time. Whoa, hold the fuck up. Where are all of these items coming from? What? Oh, no. I've just realised I've made a massive boo-boo. There was a bunch of trash in my bags from running knacks. Hang on, let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of those. Let's quickly tag all of these as go away. Oh, they're bind on equip. Although they are basically free nowadays. Yeah. Same with these. Good old BOEs, basically free. They're free now because they're over farmed, but well, not so much over farmed, just, you know, acquired more than they should be. Right, let's try again. No, not transmog. Who's stolen the mailbox? Okay, let's try again. What the tier 3 thing is called? Lamented Crusader. I haven't done any Nax runs at all, I don't think, this week either. I'm destined to just not get this tier 3 set. The annoying thing is I don't want the tier 3 set. I want the crafting patterns to make the tier 3 materials. That's what I actually want. But it's such a ridiculous amount of time, effort, and investment to get them that I'm like, oh, I mean, I can, but... Right, how much of this list as well are we just not going to be able to craft because it's stuff that requires me to go to Nax? Seemingly a lot. So maybe, just so maybe, we will have to go do Nax anyway to craft half of this stuff. Like literally everything on this list is stuff I need to go to Nax to craft. God damn. Why is it not crafting anything? What? Why is it broken? Oh god. Oh god, it's all gone horribly wrong. Too many add-ons, that's what this problem is. There we go. Ice bellow, ice bellow, ice bellow. We can make a fair amount of the stuff without going there. Okay, well, we've got a good reason to go run Nax then if we need to craft a whole bunch of this. Tempered Titan Steel Treads. It's an odd one to make. Oh, they've only got a 2k crafting cost right now, that's probably why. Are they called something like Lamented Crusader when you turn them into, or does it become the old school item? It makes a, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but it makes a bind on account item. So that if you make it on the wrong class per se, you can send them over. I can't remember exactly what they're called. Missing ghost iron bars? Didn't ask me to buy ghost iron bars. Okay. That's a bit of a boo-boo. Missing a lot of ghost iron bars. Does it maybe think I have a bunch in my bank that I actually don't? That sometimes causes problems. What are we selling? What? Oh, we're selling some wild vine. Go on. 600 gold a piece. Sold 8 wild vine. I bought way too much wild vine a while ago, so I don't mind selling a bit of it close to what I paid. Send groups, not the old materials. I'm going to still need those. Send those off though. Didn't actually send much there, did it? Try again. That's better. I swear I bought those already. Maybe I didn't. Right, we'll have to head to Nax in a minute anyway, because there's clearly a bunch of... In fact, we can head straight there now. Let's... oh, brain. Quickest way to Nax. Dollar Portal, Pet Portal, Fly. That'll probably work. Didn't plan to start doing Nax runs, but kill a few birds with one stone. We can always do with the tokens. Pet Portal. Why is my game running like ass? Can I get some frames, please? Had no technical issues playing Cyberpunk for 3 days. Load into World of Warcraft and it's like, oh no, this is too hard. Doesn't make any sense. Okay. The slowest character in history, a paladin. Oh, wait, hang on. Whatever. I should be in prop, but it's fine. Where's the anvil? It's not in this quarter at all, is it? Skip all trash as much as possible. I'm deliberately not looting, by the way. I'm deliberately not looting so that I don't spam my inventory with random trash. I can pick up the items in the mailbox. If I accidentally pull too much, though, we can just, you know, we can kill a few things. All of the goodies will get sent to us anyway. In fairness, we miss out on the gold that the bosses drop, but that doesn't account to too much. It probably only accounts to a world quest's worth of gold across the whole run. Zero of 17 on tier 3 sets. They've added, so it appears they've added the tier 3 sets into all the things. Oh, I bet that really pleases hardcore collectors. Can you imagine hardcore collectors that all of a sudden need, what's it, 8 different variations of tier 3? Is it 8? How many different sets are there? 7, 8? For all the vanilla classes. Or is it that if you get the plate set, you get paladin, you get... No, it's not, is it? You actually have to... It's per thing, so that becomes a lot. You did. Plague Quarter is where we only kill one boss. We do the... No, hang on. Oh god, I can't remember now. Let's just go with the Construct Quarter. I know we don't do the whole of this one. It's not like I haven't done this 1,000 times in the last few weeks. I just have a memory like a sieve. My brain is still thinking about Cyberpunk. This is what happens. I'm so bad at playing multiple games at the same time. I see some people who can just dip in and out of like 12 different games every single day and just like it all works fine. For me, the second I stop playing one game and start playing another, like my muscle memory, like all of a sudden I just forget what buttons do. Especially if 10.2 remains a little bit of copy pasta. If you tried Final Fantasy 14, I know there's only time in one day for one MMO. We did give Final Fantasy 14 a bit of a playtest a year or so ago. We didn't stick to it too heavily. Honestly, though, if I was to ever put World of Warcraft down for any serious duration of time, I don't actually think I'd pick up another MMO. Honestly, because MMOs, I am more and more appreciative of being able to basically complete a game. And an MMO is never, ever going to allow you to feel as if you've completed the game. And as quick as you complete the game, they'll release something new for you. The likelihood will be is if I ever put WoW down for any serious stretch of time, I would most probably just play a lot of other different games. Factorio, literally just other games. Probably more predominantly focused on single-playery stuff. I don't think I would want to play another MMO, honestly. I would be somewhat interested in playing Final Fantasy 14 for the story aspect of it, though. That's one thing that I think I've been sorely missing a good storyline in a good game, which is why I've been quite keen to get to play Cyberpunk again. Because World of Warcraft, they're just terrible at telling a story. And most MMOs are not great. But I think Final Fantasy is probably the only one that tells a good story if you're willing to sit and watch and listen. There is the possibility of just a pretty strict MSQ playthrough for Final Fantasy. But I'm not sure if I would want to get too deep into another MMO for like a pure MMO. It's weird. In one hand, I have all of the time in the world. But on the other hand, I'm not willing to dedicate all the time in the world to one game anymore. I was happy to do that for a long time with WoW. But I'm more and more noticing the fact that I just have this need and want to go play other games as well. WoW's still fine. I still enjoy playing World of Warcraft most of the time. But I more see what these games are doing, and how they're doing it. Final Fantasy Stories, the Mutt's Nuts. I got to the end of the current arc. I've like I said, Final Fantasy. I'd probably like two things. I do think there is room for some goblin reactivity in Final Fantasy, especially because it'd be a new cookie to crack. Hang on, no, we do need to go this way. I think Final Fantasy would be a good one to try and figure out the economy for. Predominantly because if I was to play Final Fantasy, I would want to try and get myself a plot of land and build a house on it. Is really the one thing in Final Fantasy that I probably would want to do. And obviously doing that is probably going to require a lot of gil. So there's possibilities there. There's possibilities there. But I don't know. It depends. It depends in what direction, in what capacity I would want to continue content creation for gaming. Because there's also the other option of that I just 100% go dark. That has crossed my mind, of that if I stop playing World of Warcraft, what's the option of just going completely dark and taking video games back to being just nothing more than a hobby and be a normal person and get a normal person job? That has definitely crossed my mind. And in that scenario, then maybe I would be able to stomach another proper MMO to lose myself in. Shit. I was here to craft a bunch of stuff, and now I've missed it. Final Fantasy Goblin mode is weird. You can server hop to flip things. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, right? There's always some way to carve yourself an advantage, I bet. But I would want to work out what the dynamic is of being able to craft everything yourself and have all of the professions yourself. Because the very obvious downside to that is that there is far less demand for the things that you make, because everybody in theory can make it themselves. But if World of Warcraft has taught me anything, it's that just because somebody can do something doesn't mean that they actually do it. Everybody has cooking, for example, or access to cooking. But just look how vibrant the food market is when there's a new raid tier. You know? It's like, okay, well, everybody can do this themselves, but they clearly don't want to. So I suspect even in Final Fantasy, just the fact that everybody could craft everything they could ever need themselves doesn't mean that a lot of them do. Hang on, that's the wrong profession. A WoW stream? What is this? Hey, we've got to keep to our roots occasionally. Night City can wait till tomorrow. What do you mean requires Black Anvil? Oh, flipping hell, I'm not going there. Oh god, it's mad profit though, isn't it? Hang on. We can get to the Black Anvil quick and easy. It's flipping what it's Brewfest. Surely we can get there quick and easy, right? That reminds me, I should do everything in my power. What's that funky tool that gets you into there nice and quick? The Grim Guzzler trinket or something. What the hell is it? I can't even remember. Missing Ghost Iron bars. Oh, I just forgot to buy Ghost Iron bars again. What am I missing there? Oh, the 10 hardened elementum bars that I decided not to buy. Foundations of Courage. Is that a Legion item? No. Cataclysm item. What even is this? $8K crafting cost, even with those expensive hardened elementum bars. At least I see why it told me to make it. Okay. Right, let's grab the last few bits and pieces from in here. Ignore this boss because he takes way too long, which inevitably means we don't kill the 4 horsemen either. Did we do this wing? Maybe not. Did we not do the plague quarter? Is it called the Grim Guzzler? That is it a trinket? I can't even remember. Is it a trinket or a toy or something that teleports you into where the Dark Iron stuff is? After 20 years of playing this game, I should know the answer to all these questions. I swear I don't play dumb just for the stream. I swear I just forget things. The drill. Yeah, I remember there being something. And you need to pick it up predominantly during Brewfest. So, you know, now or never, really. You did. 1 to go then. No, lies. 2 to go. 2 to go. Low Feb. There we go. That's the last one. Right. Pew! Dire Brews Remote. That's the one. That's the puppy. I need one of those. I need one of those. Is it a toy? It's not, is it? It's just a random item. Okay, there we go. Okay. Whilst we're here, let's... no, actually, let's half back to Valdraken. That's probably the smart move. What did we sell? Some steady Nozdorites in the money. Right, guaranteed way to make the queue pop is to go grab a drink, innit? That works 100% of the time, every time. Ah, it didn't work. Aha! So it did. So it did. Now it better be a beer. Well, it sounds like this. So you tell me. Boom. Ow! Can I be less stunned, please? Thanks. There we go. Oh, is that the first time I've killed him in Brewfest? Oops. I need to do this a few more times. Brawler statue. Go on, check me. Right, we're here for a reason though. Somebody tell me. In fact, I'll tell myself. WoW heads. No, that's MMO champion. Dire Brew remote. This thing. Give your party a ride to the Grim Guzzler on a 1 hour cooldown. I want this. Comes in the keg-shaped treasure chest. Oh, dick bags. Okay. Mrs. said can of Coke. It was a beer. The last one in the fridge. I accidentally left a beer in the fridge, and you can't leave one beer in the fridge, so it might be a school night, but we had to get it gone. It means it is the one and only though. Right, if it comes in keg-shaped treasure chests, then with a supposed 5% drop rate, I guess we are 2023 still not a freaking toy. Yeah. Okay. Where's the anvil place for making the stuff? It's this big one in the middle here, right? No, hang on. Where is it? Oh, Cockosaurus. Top left. I never know my way around this place. I swear it's in the middle here, right? Isn't it just here? Like right here. Hall of Crafting. Lord Incendious. Down there, right? Isn't that where you craft this shit? So we drop down here. Get you out the way. This is what they... Yeah, there we go. The black anvil. I knew it was around here somewhere. There we go. Seems a bit pointless coming here for one thing, but... Ah, I done goofed. I've just realised I done goofed. I've used my Hearthstone. Is this going to port me out? Oh, it is still going to port me out. Please take me back to Valdrakken. Winning. Actually winning. Beautiful. Right, let's send all of this stuff then. Whoa, what's all this? Oh yeah, Scourge Stones, yoink. Let's send all of this lot away. We can get that listed. Well, that clearly didn't work again, did it? Is it worked? Nothing to send. Okay, maybe it did. Right, send Manthe the Scourge Stones. This dude is done. Let's get rid of you, and you. Am I going to piss about doing enchanting right now? Can I can off anything that's dumb level and it's going to take ages, e.g. nearly everything? Let me get rid of light step hoof plates. I don't want to craft so many of those. I don't want to craft all of those, I don't think. What? How can it... Oh, because we're in blacksmithing. I was like, why does that not work? Ah, too many add-ons breaking things. Ignore. That's going to break everything now, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, that's broken everything now. Oh. Haha. I have sold 9 of these for an average of 314 gold. Well, fuck it, we'll make them then. Force multiplier. I have sold these, but nowhere near profitably. Meaning I most definitely do not want to be making as many of them as it claims I should. So maybe just don't make any of them. Because I sense that's a bait. Naga hide. I have sold some of these previously. I've sold them at a very skinny profit. So I guess I don't want another 39 of them. I just know I don't want those. Dancing steel. Too difficult to squeeze a profit out of those. Although we're not making many of them. Shadow Moon. No. No. Oh, can't I like right click on these and it just straight goes to it? Yeah. I forget this. No. We'll make the rest though. Okay, let's do enchanting real quick. We can do enchanting real quick. Famous last words, real quick. Just busy work, I know, but sometimes if you get some busy work out the way, it's all good from there. Where's my task list? Oh, I bet I didn't start a task list, did I? Gathering, Mantheus Professions, just the one. Open task list, go, gadget, go. Browse, scan all. Give me the goodies. Large, brilliant shards. No surprise they're cheap. I'll have those. Yoink. Elemental Earth. I'll have those. Yoink. Sun's Radiance. Just sniped a Lariat for 1k. I'm happy I've won the lottery. I will give you 500,000 gold for it right now if you bring it to Draenor. Congratulations, by the way. Ah, why won't you let me buy dark runes again? I imagine on a lot of servers, last time I checked the Elemental Lariat, there was only like 20, 25 of them across the whole EU. So there's a good chance that there's a very good chance that it pops up on realms where it just isn't there at all. I think the default price is like 75 gold or something. So if you got it for 1,000, the funny thing is that somebody still had to pick a number. And they just didn't pick a big enough one. They clearly didn't know what it was. Oof, Primal Mana's getting expensive. Whoa, nearly 200 gold for Primal Fire. Jeez Louise. Somebody needs to make some YouTube videos on this again. I need to reload this. It's having a heart attack on me. These are too expensive. I shouldn't be buying these, but they are outrageously priced. That's not happening. They are also outrageously priced. Why? What's going on here? Who's jacked up the price of these? Somebody saw me coming. Somebody saw me coming. I can get suckered into buying some stupid shit from time to time, but I'm not paying that price. Oh no, I've opened all that Nax gear again. Christ. Hang on. I'm going to have to get rid of vendor all that Nax gear again. Oops. Oh, I've just had a thought, you know. I'm so not used to streaming on a Friday night. Do we have a Samadan Wowhead gold making weekly report thingy, my bob? Oh, we do have one. WoW Economy Weekly Wrap Up 296. Oh, we might have a look at that in a minute. I usually do that on a Monday, but, you know, as we're here, as it's fresh off the press. Fresh off the press, it might be worth having a little bit of a look. It's not even Friday. Did I say Friday? Oh, I don't know. I'm delusional at this point. This is like my 10th day streaming in a row. It's not normal. It's not normal. I clearly went to Amsterdam, that's the problem. Vendor. Okay. No, what's this one? And you. And you. It's probably more. Okay, better. Better. Looty loots. Okay. Enchanting. Crafting. Go, go, gadget, go. Tomes are probably the ones I should craft up more of. These I actually don't have too much problem selling these, realistically. If I was smart about things, I'd just craft 10 of these in one go. Crafting these one at a time is a dumb thing. I know I'm always going to sell these. You never make stupid money on them, but you make enough to make it worthwhile keeping one on the auction house. But then again, you know, the world times are changing. Past expansion crafting was always like a foundation for gold making, and it's something I always recommended people do. Do I not have any parchments? Oh, Lord. I always recommended past expansion crafting to people as something that was just, you know, a good foundation, a good steady supply of just stuff. But we now live in a world where we have 1,000 gold world quests quite regularly. If you look at your map now, the average world quest is probably, I don't know, the average world quest is probably 600 gold. Meaning you could do a sweep of world quests. There's 7,600 gold sat on my map right now for running around doing some world quests. Now, if you were clever and you wombo comboed that with a Dream Surge bonus or something, there are ways and means you can amplify that even further. The profits you make with these slow but steady 100, 200, 300, 1,000 gold profits from old school crafting don't add up anywhere near as much as they used to. I mean, they never made anybody billionaires, but they were all, you know, it was always a good solid 500 things to just have on the auction house, and, you know, you'd sell a few here and there. It'd be a few thousand gold a day without really much effort, and it'd keep you ticking over. But you can achieve the same via very competitive alternatives nowadays. I mean, I still remember it wasn't that long ago where people would be happy to make like 2 gold profit on selling a potion. And it's like, do you realize how small amount of gold, like even 1,000 gold nowadays is like literally nothing. Yet when you need the problem is 1,000 gold is absolutely nothing. There'll be 1,000 gold sat on your map somewhere for you to just go and get. But the problem is when you need lots of thousands of gold relatively quickly, you fall into problems fast. And I think this is all very much Blizzard's design. Blizzard are like, well, you can have lots of gold if you are willing to put in lots of effort. They're slowly but surely slicing away all of the quick and easy gold making methods, which I think was a conscious decision. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think they, because the cynic in me would say that it's because they want to push tokens. They want to make the average person poorer, and they want to promote the sale of tokens to more people. Because you forget, right? If they can persuade 10% more people to buy a token than what they currently do, that 10% growth on token sales probably equates to quite literally millions of dollars. So, when you talk about the scale of the game and you talk about the scale of Blizzard as a company, very small incremental increases in token sales by like, okay, we're going to take away the mission tables. So that's like a steady supply of gold that people used. We're going to take that away. We're going to replace it with dragon riding. But if people actually did the maths, they'd realize that's like less than half as effective as it once was. We'll put world quests out there, so it's like we're replacing what we took away. But now if people need to go do the world quests, they can do it on their one character, but they get stopped very quickly. Then they got to spend hours and maybe buy a boost or two to get some extra characters. I'm sure there is a very smart economist behind the scenes at Blizzard. There must be, because none of what they seemingly do feels like they've done it by chance. It seems relatively calculated. And if some dum-dum can sit in Finland and figure this shit out, I'm quite sure Blizzard can. And none of it's for the players' benefit. Well, yeah. I was going to try and say something positive then, and then my brain just blue screened. It just didn't. I couldn't counteract that even for trying. I just proper blue screened. There's hopium huffing, that you could, in a perfect world, argue that it is for the greater good, but it'd be a tough argument to make. By taking away the low-hanging fruit, you arguably create a system that leaves the economy in the hands of those players that care about playing and enjoy playing with the economy, and pushes the opportunity of making substantial gold just far enough out of the reach of casual players for them to not bother doing it, meaning that those casual players don't waste often tens of hours trying to make enough gold to ultimately never even reach their target of a token's worth of gold. And instead, they take that time to actually play the game and enjoy it more so. All at the same time, taking people out of the economy market means the people that do enjoy it have a greater chance of actually seeing success with it, and are then incentivized to do it more, specialize per se. But then they introduce a new crafting system, which every man and their dog wants to at least have a little bit of a look through. And so, it's not working entirely as planned. But if your glass is half full, you can still argue that shaving off the low-hanging fruit is actually good for the player base. It's just a bit of a... It's a bit of a stretch. I tend to think it's just the salesman in me, though, that could almost try and persuade people of there being some truth there. Well, when I'm not entirely sure there really is. Hello? We're making enchants. Enchantment 1. Achievements. and then make almost everything bind on pickup. Well, yeah, I'm still heavily in the camp of that was a ridiculous decision. One that I really hope they revert for the next expansion, or I might peace out completely. What's enchantment 2 and 3 and 4 then? 500 is what we need for the next one. Well, not today. Okay, we haven't quite got to tailoring. We might get to tailoring in a minute. Tailoring is a little bit more process based because I might need to make bolts. So everything that we've crafted, we'll bung that up on the auction house real quick, and then maybe we'll have a little bit of a look at what our man Sam has to say about what's been going on recently.
Just the thing for you.
Go gadget. Because it starts to feel, for me personally, that anything that sells for less than 1,000 gold is not even worth bothering with. Even if it's like 95% profit. So like, for example, Tomb of Illusions Pandaria here right now. This is going to get listed at 777 gold. Now, it probably only cost me somewhere in the region of 70 gold to make the thing. But let's say you don't have this recipe right now. Let's say you don't have the recipe. Let's say you need to level your enchanter to get the recipe. Then you need to do whatever it takes to get the recipe. Then you need to buy the materials to make the thing in the first place. Then you need to consistently post it and actually sell it. You might have made 700 gold. But in the time it took you to do all of that, you could go and do one world quest and make 700 gold. And not have had to do any of the legwork prior. Now, obviously, where crafting is concerned, the theory goes is that you stack up lots of these things, you make them all in one go, and then you sell them all in one go, and you streamline the process. But the way that the game sort of works now, any single item less than 1,000 gold is almost 100% a waste of your time to actually craft. Which is very strange that we've got to this point. Sensi with the tier 1, my man. Thank you very much. 14 months now. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. This is why I think a lot of this new transmog that's turned up with Nax and with Zongrub, you know, if that stuff can stay at like 15, 20k, it starts to be something that's worthwhile chasing after. But a lot of the, like the Icebane set, for example, the full sets, you kind of do want to make sure that those are, you know, they're the ones that are at risk of dipping a bit too cheap, even still. But there's no denying there, we vastly increased our auction house value. Are we missing any bits and bobs? A few pieces.
Well met.
My auction house value on this character is not anything special at the moment. I've not been doing particularly much in terms of like trying to flip stuff. So I've probably only got less than 2 mil worth of stuff, even if everything was to sell. which is never an eventuality. I make probably 10% of that back a week at the moment. And unfortunately, my TSM graph goes up and down like a yo-yo. But I haven't really been playing the game much recently. Anyway, nobody cares about my success and failings. What's going on then? Let's have a look at. Let's have a little look at this. We usually do this on a Monday, but there's a very, very, very good chance that I'll be playing Cyberpunk all next week. So let's have a little bit of a look at this now. Let me turn the tunes down or maybe even off for this. Gold buffs from the Dream Surges. Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap Up 296. Normally, I cheat. Normally, I take a little bit of a read through this prior to actually going through it on stream. Obviously, I haven't done this time. This time. So let's just read this fresh. 296th edition of the WoW Economy Weekly Wrap Up. We are remarkably close to the 300th edition. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. That's nearly 6 years of WoW Weekly Wrap Ups. That's impressive, right? That's pretty impressive. This is put together each week by Samadan. You can check him out on YouTube. He's currently working through Hardcore Classic. He's doing a bit of a playthrough series, which is definitely worth checking out. If you're also playing Hardcore, or even if you're not, entertaining. Let's see what we've got then. More gold from the Dream Search Magpies. Some new farms that have been added to the Worth It add-on. The results of 2 months worth of transmog farming, and then some further reading. So with the new Dream Surges in 10.1.7, there is a little buff that has gotten the attention of Goldmakers. Not seen anybody post about this so far, so I thought I'd give a quick heads up for those who are unaware. The rotating Dream Surge buffs, there's one called Dream Surge Magpies. Increases gold gained from creatures and world quests by 100% and unlocks potential item drops from waking dreams. So, for the world quests in the zone at the same time, doubling their gold is very nice. The tooltip says plus 100%, but whether working as intended or not, it actually triples world quest gold. Okay, well that's probably a bug. Just ran through a few world quests in the Azure span and got 8k in less than 10 minutes. Now I have an alt parked in the Dream Surge zone so I can keep a closer eye on this and blast through as many alts as I can in the half hour anytime I see this up. It's a bit of a pain to find out what the upcoming buffs are from the map, so knowing the icon from the Wowhead link above is helpful. Seems to be a little, it seems to be like a fell raven or something. It's also a great week to do this as the World Awaits is live for a World Quest bonus week as well. I know this won't appeal to all, but as a goblin who misses the days of raw gold from things like mission tables, it was a nice little discovery, so happy farming. So, whenever you do see... Look, nobody voted for it though. That's your problem. If nobody, it's all good and well spotting it. If nobody votes for it though, you're shit out of luck. But the chances are goblins will do goblin things, and when they see this, they'll start vote. Tooltip says it gives 100% bonus, but it's actually calculating this base amount plus 200% of base amount. I think we can figure out what 300% is. For example, if a world quest is giving 500, it's actually giving you 500 plus 1,000, so 1,500 total. I mean, sure, that's still 3x. 3x normal, which, for example, where you might have world quests currently in Azure span right now, a bone to pick is going to give you 600 gold naturally. If it's tripling, that would obviously go up to 1,800 gold, although I suspect that that's probably a bug. The Azure Span version of the Dream Surge had loads of bugs on the PTR. It's had bugs since it's been live, so it also wouldn't surprise me too much if it tripling the gold is also a bug. But, you know, exploit early, exploit often. If you spot it up, it's a good chance to run through. Now, of course, you're only going to get half an hour whilst the buff is up. So you are probably not going to be able to like get many characters through there, but it's a nice little drip feed of, you know, at least something, I guess. You should use the time where the Magpie buff isn't up to get all of your objectives to like 7 out of 8 or 99% or whatever. So then get several more characters done in the same time frame. I know it can be annoying to not have the right buff pop up until a dozen votes later, let alone having people vote against it when it does show up. This reminds me of the old, what was that potion? Potion of elixir of the rapid mind that used to give you 300% experience in Wrath of the Lich King. No, was it Wrath of the Lich King? No, sorry, Warlords of Draenor. And you used to go through and you used to find all the bonus objectives and you used to get them to 90%. Then you'd pop your Rapid Mind potion and complete them all very quickly for a massive, great big Zerg. You could get like 7 levels in about 10 minutes if you were smart with that thing. This is the same sort of concept, really. Just preloading the effort, so that you can just turn them all in very quick time. Too much work for my taste to bother with. Well, yeah, me and you both. I liked the... If you are predominant... Well, see, this is the problem, right? Blizzard have made the game so much so that the low-hanging fruit is really not very juicy anymore. The low-hanging fruit for people is already pretty rotten. And if you happen to own a few of your own apple trees, then you don't particularly need to worry too much about grabbing the low-hanging fruit, to build on the metaphor. Doing world quests? What am I, a peasant? See, this is the mindset, right? Once you've got a little bit of gold, your mindset very quickly switches to like, oh, sure. But you know, if you're one of those players that has 15,000 gold in your bags and has never had more than 50,000 gold, and you struggle to get enough gold to pay for your token every month so you can play the game for free, being able to quickly triple your gold from world quests for no other reason than doing them at the right time is a nice little optimization and is worth at least knowing is a thing. This is something that could so easily, like, you know, pass you by without ever knowing it's a thing. But if you know about it, you'll wait for it to be a thing. Gold world quests are a solid way to build up some capital to pay for the regular expenses. So this is a fantastic way to maximize your results. Yes, it definitely does what it says on the tin. That is for sure. DalaGG, the creator of the Worth It add-on, has been very busy over the last couple of months adding to the already exhaustive list of farms that you can do in WoW. If you're at a loss of what to do and where to go and what sort of prices to expect, the Worth It add-on is great at pointing you in the right direction. And there's been a bunch new herb mining and fishing farms added to the add-on recently. Presumably meaning that the add-on can now be quite smart about things, or at least this is how I would hope it to be the case, that if you are to pick a herb or an ore or something along those lines, it can now give you a choice of farms. If you go do this one, you'll likely get these results, and if you go do this one, you'll likely get these results. Meaning you can obviously pick and choose the best one, or the one without any competition or whatever. So More data on this sort of stuff is always handy for sure. 211 new gold farms have been added to the Worth It add-on for the retail version of the game. This plus already the existing gold farms in the add-on should give everybody a little bit more of an overview to what gold farms are working well at the moment. Some of the results have been surprising. For example, the iron ore gold farm seems to be working quite well on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, he even writes like he speaks. That's funny. You can find the add-on here. Short little update video for that. Any questions, jump into the Discord, so on and so on. So here's a little screenshot of what the Worth It add-on looks like for those that may not have installed it before. It shows you the materials that you, or the main material that you might be chasing for, the location and where you can go and get it, and a very estimated gold per hour if you were to spend some time going and getting it. Obviously, the likelihood is for most people is they're going to naturally filter to the top of the tree, but of course the more people that do the one on the top of the list, the quicker this goes down the list. But this is pulled from TSM data, I believe, so it should update relatively quickly. Very cool little add-on. Also paired it with Bag Appraiser and used its whitelist function to show me the total amount of gold value farmed so far. There's a Titan panel plugin. Spent a couple of hours in Oldham and made around 50k last night. Same sort of, disclaimers with all of this sort of stuff, really. It doesn't mean shit until you've sold it. So, you might have looted 50k worth of stuff, but, bear in mind that selling it is going to be at least half of the problem most of the time. Moving into a similar market, transmog, the results of 2 months worth of transmog farming is now in. Transmog never sells is often quoted by people like me. Oh, it doesn't even say that. Transmog never sells is often quoted and people are put off by the slow sales and the lack of immediate results. However, in the name of science, Search for Loot over on Reddit has been doing some weekly summaries of their results from farming transmog. We've covered them before, but at this point it's worth a recap as there's now 8 weeks worth of data to look back on. So what have they been farming this week? They did Sunwell for another 30 runs. No surprises there, as the engineer goggle recipes are popping at the moment, or had been because of all of the new achievements. Engineers need to craft and equip, they need to craft one of every pair of goggle in the game or something ridiculous for an achievement. So that's got a lot of people buying the old engineering recipes. Razorfen Downs for 20 runs, Shadowfang Keep for 10 runs, and the Saltstone Cave for 2 hours. So spent about 5 hours in the last week doing some farming for transmog. Some of the notable drops, like I mentioned, the goggles are big business at the moment, and another pattern. It's interesting to me that the notable drops are more and more swaying towards old patterns, more so than actually transmog. It's weird to see just how the recipes are still predominantly valuable, whilst the lion's share of the actual transmog is often not so much. Razorfen Downs had a few items of note. Some median prices for both NA and EU here. This is always interesting for me as well. This just goes to show how different the two sort of areas play. When you can see a list of items like this and you can see that nearly every single time the EU median price is like half that of what the NA median is. Now, median is just one, it's one data point, right? The median price doesn't always necessarily mean a huge amount as well. The median is just, if there's 10 of them listed, if there's 11 of them listed, it's like the 6th one on the list. Whatever the price the 6th one on the list is, if 10 of them are listed, then there's your median sort of thing. It doesn't really do a great job of showing you there's always this thing. Should you use median prices? Should you use average prices? It doesn't really matter. I wish the values that were put forward were the sales data. TSM gives people sales data, so I wish more people would quote what the actual average sale price is, because that's realistically the only one that I think is worth looking at. The listing price for stuff doesn't really make much of a difference. If you're trying to deem the value of it, you want to know what the value might be and what the historical sales have been, more so than medians or averages. And since that data is available, I wish more people would use it. But there are a few bits and pieces popping up. That's what we can deem here. There was a total of 377,000 gold worth of sales made during this week. Of which 361,000 of that was transmog items. I would bet my ass that most of that was actually recipes rather than transmog. A few trade goods and a bit of raw gold from vendoring stuff. Whoa, okay, yeah, there we go. The two biggest sales were schematics from the Sunwell, for goggles for engineers. There must be some real keen engineers on this guy's realm for sure. A couple of cool bits of transmog though. Defias Mage Staff, Firemain leggings from RFD. I have a suspicion actually that these are some of the items as well that have recently come back into the game as well. So collectors, yeah, definitely collectors are going to play a part in this. Maybe recipes needed for the achievement. Just look at the price of the pattern rich purple shirt. Anything that goes towards those new achievements is you know, doubled, tripled, quadrupled in price. But this is the kind of stuff you're gonna see most often, right? This is the stuff you're gonna see most often, and the likelihood is that most of these items, they'll probably have a TSM value of like 10k, but by the time you actually sell them, by the time you can find somebody that actually is willing to take it off your hands for whatever reason, it becomes much more difficult. Come for the YouTube video on the profession paths. Couldn't find a spreadsheet on the Discord, only the Shadowlands one. The Dragonflight cheat, the Dragonflight version of it is a Patreon or a YouTube member perk. It's not freely available for everybody. To answer that question, if you're a YouTube member, a Twitch sub, or a goblin over on Patreon, Discord will automatically assign you some roles and you'll get some new channels appearing. The sale of the schematic sets a new record for the biggest item sold at 116,000 gold. Last week I mentioned how I wasn't expecting sales from the reintroduced items from the dead mines, as I thought they were too common and that would be undercut too much. However, to my surprise, I managed to sell the Defias Mage Staff for 50k. This must be one of the new items that had been brought back in with the 10.17 patch, and so these have still got some pretty spicy prices on them. At least they do, you know, for a short period of time until a handful of people get their hands on them. They've got really, really big values because they've been out of the game for a long time. To end the week, have nearly 1,000 transmog items up on the auction house with a market value of about 17.6 million gold. Holy shenanigans. Okay, sure. It's been a while since I've had less than 1,000 total transmog, but that's because I've increased my minimum market value to post on the auction house up to 200 gold. As you can see, the amount of items in my 0 to 500 range has dropped specifically, probably due to just choosing to vendor them. Total time farmed this week, 5 hours. Farm time plus the posting time, an extra couple of hours for posting the stuff. Farmed for a total of 55 hours across this series and has netted a revenue of just under 1.4 million gold, which equates to roughly 25,000 gold an hour as an average. So this is a good showcase. I mean, the data from this is pretty solid, right? This goes to show that with enough time, if you throw enough spaghetti at the wall, you will get a few items that are good enough to, you know, the thing to note with this is that it's often the lion's share of the revenue each week is often coming from like one or two what you'd call like hero sales. The rest of the like just bits and bobs aren't going to add up to too much, but this goes to show that if you do dedicate a bunch of time, I mean, 55 hours is a hell of a long time to do anything, but this dude has tried to sort of diversify what he farms to maybe try and keep it a little bit interesting. And even with those hero sales, has achieved a 25,000 gold an hour sort of average rate. This is a number, though, that could fluctuate so differently if could fluctuate wildly, to be honest. Because if you only need to not get one of these hero sales, and then all of a sudden your performance dips from 25k an hour to like 7k an hour just because you're not getting those occasional hero sales. Literally should just farm the sun well. Well, yeah, if you'd paid much attention to this dude's past success, I would actually go as far as to say out of this 1.4 million gold, half of that has probably come from schematics, engineering schematics. So literally, I don't know the exact numbers, but I would say a very heavy percentage of that has come from right place, right time. So he's been able to get the right recipes right at the perfect time when people are looking for them, and has been able to make a whole bunch of gold that way. It's still not, it's really, really difficult to like say this is a successful transmog adventure. It's that you throw nearly 60 hours of effort at the wall, and it's like the lottery tickets, right? If you buy a lottery ticket every single week, in theory, you'll have a couple of weeks where you might win to make it feel like the weeks that you don't win make sense, sort of thing. But he's still done reasonably well, I would say, so far. Over 8 weeks of farming and nearly 60 hours of farming has come out what you would assume to be slightly above average right now, if you've got it in you to spend that much time farming transmog. But it's data. It's good and it's interesting data because you get to see one person's perspective. You get to see quite a lot of data, which is also something that's difficult to get a lot of the time. People run a farm for 10 minutes and then multiply it by 6 and tell you that's how much gold you'll make every hour, which is the other end of complete BS. But this is pretty good data, and I'm glad this guy's put this together. Wonder what his hourly goal said in the first week. I can't remember exactly. We've looked at a few of these. He's put the info together over on the subreddit a few times. But yeah, my takeaway from this is that if it wasn't for a handful of hero sales from being in the right place at the right time, that number could have been drastically lower. And then you would look at it. Let's say, for example, you divide that by 2. All of a sudden, it's 12k an hour. If you weren't to get those hero sales by lots of schematics that collectors clearly were after at a very specific point in time, would you then look at the result of this if it was to say 12,000 gold an hour in a different light? Well, obviously, because you make half as much, but it depends where your threshold is. Honestly, I still don't get that excited for 25,000 gold an hour, because at the beginning of expansions, at the beginning of patches, you can make triple that. So if you are willing to spend 55 hours doing something, maybe do whatever the hell you want currently, but wait until there is something that's really juicy, and then spend all your time doing it, and you'll get much better results out of it. But good data all the same. Definitely good data all the same. I did one run, got a Pendulum of Doom. That's a gold cap an hour. That we do see too much of that for sure. We definitely do. And there we go. That was the Wowhead economy report for this week. So if you want to check out some further reading, a lot of the content for this gets pulled from the WoW economy subreddit. They do have obviously their accompanying Discord server as well. So you can check that out, of course, as well. Probably not any... there is 2 comments already. Multi-boxers are really happy with the World Quest gold buff. I doubt multi-boxers give a damn. Multi-boxers are not hanging out in Dragonflight zones at the moment, I don't suspect. It's far too likely to catch a ban if you're doing that. I would guess multi-boxers are off doing other things at the moment, but... the Elite World Quests that give gold seem to give more than triple. Last one gave me roughly 1k gold normally, and then gave me 5k gold with the Magpie buff. Oh god. Maybe there is some spaghetti code behind the scenes there. Who knows? Well, there we go. That was the WoW economy report for the week. Like I said, I usually do this on Mondays, but we're going to be playing Cyberpunk for the most of this week. That leaves me to say that's probably me done for the evening. I was never going to stream for too long this evening anyway. I was just sort of popping in, saying hi. I wanted to get a bit of crafting done, so I thought I'd throw the stream up anyway. So, and of course, it coincided quite nicely with Samadan posting this. So yeah, boys and girls, if you're into playing Cyberpunk, there's an expansion for Cyberpunk coming out in a couple of days. It technically claims it comes out on the 26th. Which it probably comes out late on the 26th for Team NA, meaning for me it's probably actually going to be the 27th, which is Wednesday, when I'll get to play the new expansion. So tomorrow and Tuesday we'll be playing some Cyberpunk, we'll be leveling up, playing the 2.0, having a little bit of a look at the new specs, playing through mostly the storyline. I want to get most of the 1.0 storyline out the way before we get the new expansion. I don't know how they synergize. I don't know if you can layer one on top of the other, or whether you need to complete one before you can start the next. I don't know. But we've got a couple of days to do that. So come say hi if you enjoy Cyberpunk, or even if you don't, still come say hi. Thank you all for joining. Have yourselves a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.